yours.
Well, awesome. So, thanks so much, Rox, for sharing that. Now, can you guys see my screen? Are you looking at Live the Dream?
It might be my screen. Let me see if I can. Because I'm looking at Live the Dream too. So.
Okay, let me put on a PowerPoint. Are you seeing the PowerPoint?
Yeah, let me do some screen sharing stuff here. I'm not getting a response from my GoToWebinar control panel. Give me a second.
Okay.
I don't know why it doesn't.
I think we're live now. Hey, JB, can you see my screen? Are you seeing the my wife's pretty face right there?
I mean, I see yours.
Okay, so you're actually seeing Rob Fore L5 Executive Mastermind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, so we should be live. So what I wanted to share first, before I actually got to this screen, is as we go through this, everybody on the line, if you have questions or want to make a comment or want to, show appreciation for Rox and everything that she does, go to mlspfanclub.com, mlspfanclub.com, and right below this header, you'll see this little button called Highlights. And if you select Post by Others, you'll see the posts that other people are making, and you can ask your questions and do your sharing there. The other thing I wanted to share is if you're able to at all, you do want to get to the event, Live the Dream, here in October in Dallas, Texas. Well, what I'm going to share tonight is a technique that if you apply it in your life, it will have a profound effect on all kinds of areas of your life. And we're going to go pretty deep into some stuff tonight. But at the event, I also have a 9-minute exercise or a 7-minute exercise I'm going to share from the stage that can be just as powerful, even more profoundly powerful, and your life will never ever be the same. And I'm going to share that live from the stage. And it has to be one of those things where it's actually a live presentation. Otherwise, I would share it with you tonight. But it has to be live, and I guarantee if you sit there, just that 1 7-minute takeaway will be everything you invested in to get there. So I'm going to start tonight. Now, tonight, we're going to go over a few things. You do not need to take notes, but you will need to have something available to write with. There's going to be a couple of exercises where we ask you to write. I do recommend that you don't take notes. You can always, this is being recorded. You can find it in your back office in the next couple of days and refer back to it. Instead, stay present. Stay present in the here and now, and just kind of go with what we're doing. And later we'll be given, I'll be sharing some exercises with you. Come back, take the notes from the recorded version, and do that. Now, there's going to be times I'm going to ask you to write something down, or maybe even to close your eyes and relax. And if you're driving, certainly don't do that. So let's get started. Now, first, what I want you to do is name something you really want. Perhaps you want more money, or a new car, or maybe you want to live in a nicer house, to take a cruise, walk the beaches of the world, eat exotic foods, and have more free time to spend with family and friends. Maybe you'd like to lose a little bit of weight, or to get into better shape, or even to run a marathon. So name something you really, really want. And real quickly, jot down a brief note, kind of shorthand style, of what it is you really want. So maybe cruise to Alaska, $25,000 in my checking account, lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. Write a real quick note, shorthand style, about what it is you really, really want. So jot down a quick note. Now let me ask you a very blunt question. Why don't you have it yet? Why don't you have that thinner body, the BMW in the garage, or the money in your banking account? Why don't you have that home on the beach? Or why is it that you're still working your fingers to the bone with nothing to show for it except for bony fingers? Why don't you have the whatever it is you said Now think about that. Why don't you have whatever it is you said you really wanted? Now perhaps you answered, well, there's a lack of time or a lack of money, or maybe there's a lack of effort or a lack of direction, fear of failure or fear of success. Maybe you're suffering horrible circumstances and situations. And while all of those things may be true for you, the biggest reason you do not have whatever it is you said you really wanted is due to any number of unconscious roadblocks that are literally blocking your path and standing in your way. Unconscious, invisible barriers to entry that you may not know even exist. But they do, they most certainly do. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about disempowering beliefs that are literally preventing you from moving forward, or what I like to call the unconscious hurts, habits, and hang-ups that have been and will continue to hold you back unless we fix them. The challenge is what we call a contradiction of intent between the two minds of you that make up the whole of you. The challenge is a contradiction of intent between your conscious mind, that part of you that thinks, dreams, schemes, makes excuses, and forms opinions, and your unconscious mind, which basically does everything else. It's a difference of opinion, if you will, between your conscious mind, which thinks it is in control, and your unconscious mind, which is really in control. Because it is your unconscious mind that keeps you breathing, keeps your heart beating, and keeps you intuitively aware and on high alert for any signs of physical, mental, or emotional danger, real or imagined, even when you are consciously engaged in something else. And you know this to be true because there's many times you've been driving, you get to your destination, you suddenly wake up, you go, how in the heck did I get here? I drove here on automatic pilot. Yet that whole entire time, you were being on the high alert with your unconscious looking for danger. In other words, your unconscious mind is always looking out for your best interest, which is to keep you alive and well. And it literally has stopped paying any attention to what you consciously say or think or form an opinion about, and has stopped paying attention a long, long time ago. Because frankly, nobody pays any attention to the village idiot anymore. Because he or she doesn't make any sense. For example, yeah, I really should lose some weight, but I'll take a double-double with cheese and a diet soda. That's the ticket, a diet soda. That makes a lot of sense. Or how about, I'm serious, Sally, I really need to get out of debt. The bills are killing me, and I hear what you're saying about having a budget and all, but hang on. Oh my gosh, red tag sale at Macy's. Today only. Shopping. Hey, you want to go right now? Come on, let's go. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Or how about, I'm serious, Rob, you know, I have to take my business to the next level now, or I risk losing everything. So, well, okay. Well, have you scheduled time to build your business, Bill? What time, says Bill? I don't have any time. Speaking of which, hey, I gotta go. I tee off here in an hour. You gotta be kidding me, right? Your conscious mind a lot of times gives conflicting signals, and your unconscious mind has literally fired the village idiot a long, long time ago. And it's your unconscious mind that controls your behavior based on what your unconscious mind thinks is in your best interest, regardless of what you consciously want or don't want. In other words, if what you consciously want to have, become, or achieve conflicts with what you unconsciously know to be true and safe for you, call it survival, your unconscious mind always wins. always wins. So survival, or your unconscious mind, the part of you that protects you from you and everything else in the world, will always win when push comes to shove. So that's why a lot of times you say you want something and you don't necessarily get it because your unconscious mind doesn't want you to have it. Now I'm going to give you two quick examples. Now this might be a little brutal, but stay with me here. Mary consciously wants to lose weight. Mary decides to go on a healthy diet, which seems like a good thing. Eat less, move more, lose longer, live longer. Of course, that all makes sense. So Mary swears off French fries and cookies, and she starts walking every day. She even finds her way to the gym 3 times a week, and the pounds start dropping 5 pounds, 10 pounds. And Mary is starting to feel really, really good about herself and her accomplishments. Then out of the blue, and she loses 10 pounds, she's doing really good. Then out of the blue, she binges, and she consumes a bazillion calories like an out-of-control vacuum cleaner and gains not only the 10 pounds she lost, but an extra 5 pounds on top of that. And looking from the outside in, we would say that Mary self-sabotaged. She's got no self-control. She didn't really want to lose the weight. But if we look from the inside out, we might find that Mary's behavior was a form of self-preservation. Because way back when Mary was a little kid, trim, fit, and cute as a button, inappropriate, horrible, spirit-crushing things happened at the family reunion. When no one else was looking, and when cousin Slimeball Maggot invited her to play hide and seek, and in that instant, Mary's unconscious mind learned it was much safer, and it was in Mary's best interest not to be trim, fit, and cute as a button, because cute kids get hurt. Cute kids get molested. And so now today, some 40 years later, when push comes to shove, survival always wins. And Mary hits this unconscious roadblock, a disempowering belief, a hurt that literally prevents her from losing weight for her own good and for her ultimate survival. A disempowering belief that literally prevents long-term weight loss, even though she consciously wants to do that. Or how about John? Now, John joins a deal with the conscious intention of making $100,000 or more in the next 24 months. So he gets in, he gets busy, stays consistent, and sure enough, he starts making money. But as soon as he hits the $50,000 mark, John decides to celebrate his success, causes an accident while driving under the influence, gets sued, and loses everything. Again, it's a repeating pattern with John. He makes big money easy enough, but loses it just as quickly. And from the outside in, it looks like self-sabotage. But from the inside out, we discover that John has always been the most obedient of sons. He lives to make his family proud. And in his family, no one has ever made more than $50,000 a year. And in fact, it's a well-known fact in John's family that anyone who does make more than $50,000 a year is selfish and greedy and risks eternal damnation, don't you know? Because the good book says you cannot serve 2 masters, right? So here it is 20 to 30 years later, and to remain the obedient son and to avoid eternal damnation, John must keep his income below $50,000. So when push comes to shove, survival always wins. So here's the bottom line. When you find yourself not doing what you should be doing, and when you find yourself doing what you should not be doing, understand at that moment in time, you are literally in encountering a disempowering belief that can and will prevent you from moving forward unless and until you change that belief. The challenge, of course, are these beliefs are beyond our conscious mind. We don't even know they exist. You may not even be aware of them, yet they control your behavior, like we just saw with Mary. Consciously, she wants to lose weight. Unconsciously, survival takes over. She will never be able to do that unless we eliminate that hurt. John consciously wants to make money, appears to self-sabotage, but it's really self-preservation. His beliefs control his behavior. So let's talk about that right now. Let's talk about how to overcome the hurts, the unconscious hurts, habits, and hang-ups that used to hold you back from achieving what you really want. And we're going to do it in 3 easy steps. Now first, and this is what we need to know. First, we need to know specifically and exactly what it is you consciously want. Second, we need to give this objective, dream, or goal an unconscious priority, because what we focus on tends to expand. And if we can get your unconscious to focus on your conscious dreams and goals, magic happens. And finally, we need to somehow become consciously aware of the unconscious roadblocks getting in our way and work towards removing those barriers. So we need to know what we want, make it an unconscious priority, and remove any and all barriers. And if we do that, you're going to create magic in your life. Now, first, to make this happen, what we need to do is establish a baseline of what it really means to give your unconscious mind what it wants. Because remember, your unconscious is in control. We think our conscious mind is in control. It's not. Your unconscious is in control. So we need to consciously figure out what we say we consciously want, but we need to know exactly and specifically what our unconscious wants. So later, you will be able to consciously determine if and when we've hit a roadblock. Now we'll do this by accessing what we call a perfect 10 memory, which is a moment of time in your life when there was absolute joy. Warm, safe, wonderful, big, warm, fuzzy. Physical well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being. So just for now, and again, if you're driving, don't participate here, but just for now, sit back in your chair and relax. And if you're driving, just listen and play along, but stay safe. You can always come back and replay this later. But just for now, gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in and out. Focus on your breathing. In and out. Focusing only on your breathing and the sound of my voice. And as you sit there, breathing, relaxing, allow a most wonderful memory, a most wonderful memory to come to mind, floating there. That's it. The most perfect memory. And relive that memory live. Step into the memory. Turn up the volume. And adjust the picture until it becomes crystal clear. Who or what are you seeing around you? What sounds or voices are you hearing? What tastes and smells and sensations? Experience this most perfect memory now. It's so wonderful. And a sense of profound peace, joy, and happiness washes over you because life is perfect. Joy, peace, and happiness washes over you and through you and becomes you, and you would not change a single thing, because this moment is perfect. So all the while, in perfect time now, bring all your well-being back with you and open your eyes. And smile big. Physically smile big. Ear to ear. The biggest, brightest smile this side of the Mississippi. Big, big smile. And now I want you to write a short description of your memory. Just enough to jog your memory later. So for example, I might write down wedding day, garden moment, or first time holding our son, or nod of approval from dad for an act of kindness. Or maybe I'd write down spring lamb eating daisies or sunrise in Cancun. Real briefly, write down a memory jogger. And right below the memory jogger, I want you to write down how you're feeling in that perfect 10 memory. Like, I feel like jumping out of this chair and hugging the world. My eyes feel very wide open and wide, and my eyes are smiling like lavender roses. Write down how you're actually feeling. What's going on right now? What's the label you would call this amazing sense of well-being and wonderfulness? So jot that down. And then after you jot that down, I want you to take a moment and list a couple of the body sensations that you're experiencing now. The sensation, my scalp is tingling, or my face feels really funny because of this big old smile, or I have a sense of fullness in my chest, or there's a lump in my throat, or I have happy bouncing feet. I'm just too excited like a wet puppy dog. My eyebrows are twitching. I'm taking deep breaths. What's going on in your body, the actual body sensations? Write that down. Okay. So what you've just experienced is exactly what you really want on an unconscious level. All the time, a sense of completeness and wholeness and wonderfulness, a sense that life is wonderful and certainly worth living. You know, it's a perfect 10 in every sense, for all of your senses, and it just makes sense, doesn't it? So always remember what you shouldn't forget, and then you'll do it perfectly on time, every time. A perfect 10 memory where everything is wonderful. Now, what we want to do is we want to create what we call a perfect. So this is what we unconsciously want. That's what we've just done. We've accessed this perfect 10 memory. Remember that feeling. Remember the body sensations. Remember how you were feeling when life was wonderful all the time. That's what we unconsciously want all the time. That's going to be your baseline. Now what we want to do is we want to write down a conscious objective. What I call a clear target objective, or a properly written objective. And sometime tonight, or maybe tomorrow, but certainly not right now, I want you to write out your own objective following the example that I'm going to give you here. So later, come back and review the recorded version of this and use this, replay the webinar, and use this template as a model. So not right now, maybe later tonight or tomorrow, come back and do this exercise. And there's a couple things that you'll be doing. First, you want to write out this objective, and this is what you consciously want, whether it's to lose weight, make more money. You know, write a short-term dream or goal. For example, I might write something like this. Honorable Fore, October 4, 2012. I will have done whatever is necessary and appropriate to have increased my net residual income by at least $3,000 per month. I will have done this in ways that are for the highest good of me and everyone involved. Or maybe if I wanted to lose weight, I would say, well, on or before October 4th, 2012, I will have done whatever is necessary and appropriate to have lost at least 15 pounds. I will have done this in ways that are for the highest good for me and to everyone involved. So regardless of what your personal goals are, of course this would be more particular to you, follow that structure and write down what you personally want. Now, I recommend when you first get started doing these exercises that you work on a few short-term objectives. So think 30, 60, even 90 days out, so that you can get a better sense of how this all works and experience the magic of what it really means to finally overcome the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that used to hold you back. Okay, so once written, and again we'll do this later, schedule a time when you have 3 to 4 hours available with just you. No kids, no spouse, no significant other, no distractions, just you. 3 to 4 hours, just you. Because you're going to need this much time to turn what we consciously want, that was our written objective or goal, into an unconscious priority. And this step may seem to be pretty easy. But I guarantee it will be one of the most challenging, yet one of the most life-changing things you will ever do. Most of you will not do it. And you'll literally have gained nothing except for you have spent an interesting hour with me and rocks. But a few of you will. And your life will never, ever be the same if you do this. Now here's what you need to do, and it gets this very easy to do, which means it's going to be very easy not to do. But if you do this, I guarantee your life, your finances, your dreams and goals, whatever you want to accomplish in life, you'll make it happen. You'll make it happen. Nothing will hold you back anymore if you do this. What you need to do is simply sit down and start handwriting your objective 100 times. No typing. Handwrite your objective 100 times. Now, of course, if you have arthritis or a prosthetic or something and handwriting is impossible, then go ahead and read it out loud. Again, no typing. Read it out loud. It's going to be the most profound if you actually handwrite it out. If you can't do that, read it out loud. And yes, you may feel silly doing that, but do that. Handwrite it or read it. And be as present as possible in the process. No, so don't just write it, don't think, and listen to your iPod. Be as present as possible during that process. Now, during this process of handwriting your objective 100 times, you will find times when your mind starts to drift. You'll start to wander. You'll start to think about different things. Or you'll find yourself coming up with excuses to quit writing. Or you'll start to experience different things in your body. A headache. You'll start to breathe shallow. You'll feel faint. You'll have a hot flash. You'll feel like you need to eat. You'll feel like you need to go to the bathroom. And when you do, pause in that moment and do a body check. Find out what you are feeling at that specific moment in your body. Maybe you're holding your breath, or maybe you notice tightness in your throat, or your palms are sweating. What you want to find is the actual body feeling, not the label you've given to how you're feeling. The label might be, I'm bored. I think this is stupid. This is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? Your mind can be chattering all over the place. And you can say, I'm bored, I'm angry, I'm discouraged, I'm whatever. That's the label. We're not looking for the label. What we're looking for is the body feeling at that moment in time. My leg is twitching. My scalp is tingling. I feel I'm clenching my jaw. We're looking for this body feeling. For example, you might label how you're feeling as I'm tired or bored, but we don't want that. What we want to do is pay attention to the actual body sensations going on in that moment, because that sensation is your unconscious mind giving you a big fat clue that there is a huge roadblock in the way of you achieving what you want. And if you really want it, you need to pay attention to that clue, because we need to go back in now and clear that roadblock. So it's important to pause in the moment, find the body feeling the sensation, understand that's your clue. We have a roadblock. I actually call it a blocker, and we need to go handle that. Now, once we have framed these body feelings, the sensations, we need to ask your unconscious mind to give you an earlier memory of when you had those same exact body feelings, and take whatever it gives you without question, and just experience the memory, good or bad. So ask for an earlier memory of when you experienced those same body feelings, not the label, the body feelings, and take whatever memory comes to mind, good or bad, happy or sad, and experience that memory. Just live into the memory like we just did. And after a while of participating in the memory, paying attention to the body feeling, ask yourself 3 questions. Could I let this feeling go in that memory? Am I willing to let it go? When? And the answer doesn't matter. Yes, no, maybe, doesn't matter. Don't get into a debate with yourself here. Just ask the question, answer without judgment, and ask the next question. And what you're going to be doing is both acknowledging that your feelings are real, and that your feelings made sense at that time in your life when the memory actually happened. But they are no longer a threat to your here and now, because after all, it's just a feeling. Your scalp is tingling, your jaw is tense, your leg is twitching. And after all, it's all based on a very ancient, old memory, which you now get to rewrite that memory into a perfect 10 memory, because it's your memory, and you can do with it what you want. So why not turn that disempowering memory that kind of sucks into yet another perfect 10 memory like we just experienced? So instead of hearing your dad being disappointed, hear your dad praising you for a job well done. Instead of experiencing a sinking feeling in your stomach when you fumbled your words at the school play, in your memory, give a stellar performance and experience the joys of a standing ovation. It's your memory, so make it perfect and relish in that moment. And smile big. Smile big, ear to ear, the biggest smile this side of the Mississippi. And then get back to writing out your objective at least 100 times. So let's review real quick. And again, you want to come back and watch the replay so you can actually do this exercise. Write down your objective. Schedule 3 to 4 hours with yourself to prioritize the objective and start handwriting it out 100 times. Now you're going to make changes to your written objective as you go if needed. So when you're prompted to achieve a perfect 10 cents for what you have to achieve in the time frame. So for example, in my objective, I said, well, on or before this date, I'm going to increase my net residual income by at least $3,000 a month. And I'm going to do this in ways for the highest good of me and everyone concerned. Well, maybe as I'm writing that down, maybe say on time 12, but I just get this internal sense that 3,000 is just too low, and I need to bump that up to 5,000. Or maybe I find the word net residual income just doesn't resonate with my spirit, or doesn't resonate with me, and I change that to gross income. So you're going to have to make changes along the way. Be willing to make those changes, and then just keep writing out your objective. So make changes as you go. Now, which means that you may need to raise or lower your goal. You may need to increase the time span or shorten the time span, whatever is going to work for you consciously and unconsciously to put you both on the same page. So rewrite your objective if and when necessary. Now, once it is perfect, and after you have written it out at least 100 times, and have removed most of the unconscious hurts, habits, and hang-ups that would have, but no longer will, get in the way. What you want to do is you want to read your perfect objective first thing in the morning, again sometime in the middle of the day, and again right before you go to bed at night. And be present when you read it. Don't like say your prayers and you don't mean it. Read it, mean it, live into it. Find those perfect 10 feelings and visualize what it will mean to have accomplished your goal. Live into it live. So keep in mind what we're doing is as you're writing this out, you're going to, again, your mind's going to start to wander. You're going to daydream what's going on in your body. Go access earlier memory, ask your 3 questions, deal with it, come back, rewrite, and keep writing. Now, at any time between when you start and the actual fulfillment of your goal, if you find yourself not doing what you know you should be doing, or when you find yourself doing what you know you should not be doing, realize you are right then and there encountering a disempowering belief that absolutely will prevent you from moving forward unless and until you remove it. So how do we remove it? We pause in that moment. So give you an example. Let's say I know today I had 10 leads come in and I need to pick up the phone and call my leads. So I sit down to go call my leads. This is something I know I should be doing. And I go to reach to pick up the phone and I find myself fiddling and changing papers, and all of a sudden I'm getting up and I'm going to go mow the lawn. Now I have a walk lawn. There's nothing to mow. But I still find myself wanting to mow the lawn. Obviously I just caught myself not doing what I should be doing. So I know at that moment in time, I'm encountering a disempowering belief that is literally holding me back from creating the results I desire. So what I need to do is pause in that moment and label the emotional state that I find myself in. Well, I'm kind of anxious about calling these leads. I'm kind of anxious. So I want to frame the feeling. Now I want to ask. So I give it a label. Say, well, I'm kind of anxious. Then I want to check for body feelings. Again, the sensation in my body. Well, I'm feeling my chest is kind of tight. I'm feeling the skin on the back of my neck is raw. So I want to look for those body feelings. And then again, ask yourself for an earlier memory of when you also experienced the same body feelings. Relive that memory. And after a while, ask yourself the 3 questions. Did I let this feeling go? Am I willing to let it go? When? Then rewrite the memory into a perfect 10 memory. Smile big, and off we go. So that's it for tonight's presentation. I do want to share with you, there's a reality check here. Most of you will not complete this assignment. That in itself is a roadblock. If you find yourself saying, yeah, I should do it, and then all of a sudden you find yourself making excuses, pause in the moment, label how you're feeling, find out your body sensation, go ask for an earlier memory, live into that memory. Are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to release that feeling? Are you willing to let it go? Man, come on back and do the exercise anyway. So most of you won't do it, and most of you, quite honestly, unfortunately, will not be here next year. Those of you who do complete this assignment will be here next year, and you will have accomplished seemingly impossible dreams, goals, and objectives, maybe for the first time ever in your life. And it's your choice either way. There's not a right or a wrong choice. It's just right or wrong for you. And I'm confident you're going to make the right choice for you and your family, for the highest good of you and everyone in concern. So that's it, Rox. It's back to you.
Thank you, Rob. You are fabulous. I love it when you're on these calls. If anyone has any questions,